Welcome back to the Police Recruiting Show. I'm so excited you're here once again. We have Doug Larsen, the CEO of Safeguard Recruiting, where they have the answer for recruiting, folks. Reach out to them if you're not familiar with what they're doing. It's amazing stuff. And Doug, I got a topic this week that should interest you. I keep seeing agencies doing this, and that is the lateral bonuses. Now, I'll start off with, we've always done laterals in a sense, but there's an issue if you're relying on the laterals and the bonuses to try to get your ranks back up there, and you don't actually look at a long-term recruiting strategy. So are you seeing the same thing where you are? A lot of agencies still have this faith that they can throw $5,000, $10,000 at somebody, get them on the department, and their woes are fixed. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that, right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to throw a bunch of money at it and try and entice people over and not expand our pool of candidates and everybody in law enforcement. We're just going to kind of try and poach from somebody else and grab somebody. There's a few issues that come up with laterals, though, that are interesting for departments. If you go and you look at it, sometimes we've seen departments go after a bunch of laterals, and not all laterals, they may have experience, but sometimes they're running away from something. So you got to be aware of that too. And then it's kind of a cycle, right? Somebody offers more money, somebody offers more pay, and then they're gone. But you might get a short-term little blitz from that, but usually it's hard to fill your ranks totally from just offering a bonus.
Yeah, there's a lot of side issues as well. There's one thing about being within the culture of the agency and going through the academy and knowing the people in the academy and getting to know people in the agency versus, hey, you hired some 10-year veteran from the department down the street. It's not that adjustment can't happen, but it's weird if your department's trying to make up they're down 10 or 20% and they can throw a bunch of money at something. There's some weird dynamics that go on inside police departments, and let's not fool ourselves. That's the case, right? And so, like I said, I don't think we would not advocate laterals. Doug, you do lateral campaigns for clients all the time,
Yep.
but you probably up front tell them some things to be concerned about. So if you have an agency, because you're right, that's a short-term fix. We kind of keep every week talking about these short-term fixes. Not that you shouldn't have some sort of lateral program, but that's not going to be a solve from here on out. What you advocate, Doug, with this philosophy is a forever philosophy. You can't do this, get stacked up, and then go back to recruit like it's 1995. Like, this is the way recruiting happens in America today, not just in law enforcement, but in other industries. So it's a whole philosophy shift. So, putting a Band-Aid on it isn't going to fix it. So, Doug, when you run these lateral campaigns with agencies, I know you're running several right now. What are some of the things you talk to the agencies about when you do that?
Yeah, one up front, it's a lot more costly to run a lateral campaign. You're not going to get as many names because you got to think about it. What areas can I recruit from for laterals? And can I convince people to move to my area? And what are the hiccups I got here? What are the hangups? Like, is there a couple-week academy? Is there a full academy? Is there no academy? What kind of training do I need to have somebody come in and work for my department? And then you got to look at the pool of lateral candidates is a lot less than if you want to grow somebody into your department new. So the expense is there. It's a harder process, a slower process. I wouldn't advocate that that's all you want to do because it's going to be harder to fill your ranks if you need a whole lot of people. I would have a mix. I mean, it is nice to get laterals in and you get them trained and on the road a lot quicker. It relieves some of that pressure, but I'm not saying I'm totally against laterals. I'm just saying up front, you need to know it's more expensive and it can be a little time consuming.
Well, that is the one thing that I think all your clients like is if they have a recruiting campaign, you quote that based on bodies. You tell them this much money will get you approximately this many people to talk to. But you can't really predict that with a lateral campaign, can you? Why not?
No, it's a lot harder. Just that pool to draw from is so much shallower that it's harder to. We can come up with a more of a ballpark, but it's a lot harder than if somebody that we're going to get into law enforcement as a new profession.
Yeah. So I think if I was to, you have a lot of clients, Doug, that will do like a 50-50 campaign or 75-25. So they're still getting the new ones. They're testing out the lateral because oftentimes you don't know what you're going to get till you test it, right? Till you test it out. But we talked about our referral program already. Man, go back and watch that episode, because if you're looking for laterals, many people in your department, they have friends at other agencies. Get involved in our referral program. Get your officers or deputies on your department talking about your department. Link it up with the referral program. Game over, right? To me, that's almost better money spent than, because you're right, it could be very, very expensive. By the way, not $5,000 bonus expensive, right? That's very expensive.
Yeah.
But it can be a lot more pricier to run those campaigns. But that referral program could certainly help, could it not?
No, I'm a big advocate of the referral program, because you got your first line of vetting somebody out is the officers on your department. They're not going to suggest somebody they don't want to work with. They know these people. They know their background. So I love the referral program, and it's successful. It's very successful. If we get these officers that are out on the street and they know a lot of folks, and we get them the information they need to have to really market and advocate for your department. Now, that $5,000 bonus. Lateral programs are a little more expensive, but you would be surprised how many lateral names you could generate off that one $5,000 bonus.
Oh, yeah.
And that is actually probably a better use of your bonus money than just giving it to one candidate.
Well, I hesitate to say this would happen, but I just know from a lot of the past campaigns, you would hire several people off that money. You would have several great candidates on a lateral program for $5,000. But
yes,
you got to get the short-term fix out of people's minds, because there is a better way to do it. Doug Larsen, thanks for talking. Great information. No one else is putting this information out, folks. I don't understand it, but that's why we love doing it, because this isn't just a company that's trying to, this is a company that wants to inform and educate. It doesn't cost you a thing to watch these shows, right? Spread this around. Doesn't cost you a thing to call Doug Larsen up and talk to him. Doesn't cost you a thing. In fact, he's been known to throw some free campaigns at people before if he likes you a lot. So reach out to Doug. Let him show you how this will change everything you thought you knew about police recruiting. Doug Larsen, thank you for being here.
Thank you.